It's one of the biggest sporting events in Toronto, and tonight here at the Rogers Cup, a woman by the name of Anne-Marie D'Amico is being remembered. Anne-Marie was one of 10 victims who tragically died in April's van attack. The 30-year-old spent many summers right here, and many are remembering her as a dedicated volunteer who loved giving back to her tight-knit committee. But her family doesn't only want her to be remembered for how she died, but how she lived.
Tennis Canada and Rogers Cup has always been a big part of our summer. They've always felt like a family to us, and to have a missing piece from that, there's going to be moments where you kind of feel her loss, but then you go around the site and she's all around you.
Why was volunteering so important to Anne-Marie?
She just always loved to give back. She was incredible in that regard. She was so selfless.
Her life was cut short, but ask anyone walking the grounds at the Rogers Cup and you'll quickly learn who Anne-Marie D'Amico was and what she meant to the people around.
This tournament is where we would get together with her every single year for the past 20 or so years, and that won't be the case this time.
The 30-year-old first joined the Rogers Cup team as a ball kid, but she continued to occupy many other roles over the years, and in 2016 was even named Volunteer of the Year. Her death has left a void in her Tennis Canada family, and D'Amico's loved ones, who know that pain more so than anyone else, say they want her to be remembered for the positive impacts she's had on so many people.
Last year she was the committee head for stadium court control, so it was a hot day, and she, in true Anne-Marie fashion, she knew her people didn't have a chance to have a break, and she was able to corral water and Gatorade from around the site, and her other committee head, Penny, went around and started delivering them to her team, which was who she was.
Anne-Marie's name will be on display throughout the Rogers Cup. Following a Milos Raonic game, a tribute will highlight Anne-Marie's time here, and throughout the 9-day event, volunteers will also have her name and memory around their wrists.
We're all wearing our wristbands here, and it says, "What would Anne-Marie do?" Because we always want to remind ourselves about, what would a person who was so great at dealing with people do in every situation.
All her positive qualities just exude through this wristband, and it's a constant memory of all the good things she brought to our lives and people around us and to the tournament.
Tennis Canada is also renaming an award for their volunteer program in her name, made up of 1,100 members, to reflect her kindness and commitment and what she was great at.
She's such a fabulous person, big smile, big heart, but also really smart. And she really dealt with our customers, whether it was the patrons coming to Rogers Cup or the tennis players. That's what she was known for doing so well.
Why was it so important for the Rogers Cup and Tennis Canada to honor Anne-Marie this weekend?
The D'Amico family is part of the fabric of the Rogers Cup. They've been volunteering here for so many years.
Volunteering is in Anne-Marie's blood. The D'Amico family have a combined 88 years volunteering, so much so that the D'Amico name has now become synonymous with the event. Is this year more important than others?
There's definitely a different vibe for us here, but every year at the tournament it's important for us. Obviously, there's a little more meaning to this year. We wanted to be here for my sister as well.
We think about her every day, at Rogers Cup, because she was such a big part of what we do here.
The D'Amico family will also be receiving a distinguished award for their years of volunteering here at the Rogers Cup. Now, in addition to this tribute, Anne-Marie, there's been an annual scholarship of $2,500 that's been launched by Tennis Canada in the name of Anne-Marie that will be going to a ball kid. It's being funded by a donor.